I love movies, but for the past few years actually, film as an art form has felt dead to me. Maybe you felt kind of like this. Every month or so, just like going back to a girlfriend you're too scared to break up with, I would go back to the cinemas to watch some highly praised movie, but in the end, I would always find myself leaving the cinema just kind of disappointed. Again, in the past few years, I can remember this distinctly happening with, and this isn't to say these movies are bad, they're good for what they are, but they're just artistically safe, and by safe I mean unoriginal and unambitious. Oppenheimer, Dune Part 2, The Substance, Furiosa, Warfare, Sinners, Begonia, One Battle After Another, No Other Choice, Please Don't Kill Me, and look, I love almost all the directors here, PTA, Park Chan-wook, Christopher Nolan, you name it. But when I saw these movies, I felt like I was just watching the same old recycled stuff over and over again. Everything shot the same old way, acted the same old way, scored the same old way.
Nothing fancy.
With minor exceptions like the iPad rig in No Other Choice, and the on-point transitions in No Other Choice, and the hilarious overloud subtitled argument scene in No Other Choice. Okay, maybe No Other Choice shouldn't be on this list. But shot composition, camera movement, staging, lighting, sound design, music, writing, the actors' performances are all tools in a toolkit. And what I've been seeing is same shit, different movie. No one's actually using the toolkit to maximize the impact of their movies. They're just recycling their old bag of tricks.
No one has ever done anything like this.
Villeneuve likes clean, orderly frames, simple color palettes, sudden outbursts.
No, listen to me. Just shut the fuck up for a fucking second.
Nolan likes the third act gotcha, dual timelines, loud music, clean performances.
Now I'm always smiling.
Lanthimos likes offbeat performances,
No, of course not. What the fuck are you talking about?
awkward surrealism, and wide-angle lenses. And we all know these things work, they're fantastic. For the first 3 films. After that, they're just being artistically safe, and that is artistic death. And that's why we so often see a director's best films come at the start of his or her career. They're still willing to take risks. Here's a thought experiment. Scorsese said he sometimes likes to watch Kubrick's movies with the sound off.
So I can see the rhythm
You do
of
that? Watch it with the sound off.
Sometimes you can see the rhythm of the cutting and the camera moves. And when he cuts in a 2-shot conversation.
Do that with Oppenheimer, and you'll see that except for Oppenheimer's visions in the first 15 minutes, the rest of the movie is visually boring. Close up, close up, close up. Gasoline explosion, puddle. When the biggest visual moment in your movie is shot like this, and relies on the cliche of breathy silence and only gives us a profile shot of the main character's reaction, the director is playing it safe, is being unoriginal and unambitious. Compare that to another much simpler depiction of the Trinity test by David Lynch. Until it zooms into the mushroom cloud. Less is more. Indulge me for a moment and imagine if Christopher Nolan had dared to hold on the nuclear fireball and force the audience to bear witness to its horrific beauty with a primordial sounding score as if the earth itself were groaning. And kept holding for a whole 2 minutes until the audience was lost in thought and had forgot about Oppenheimer, and then cut back to a close-up portrait of Oppenheimer's face. No one else, just him, so the audience could study the soul of his reaction. This slowness would have contrasted beautifully with the fast-paced editing of the rest of the film and would have actually surprised the audience. Our best directors have become lazy, and I'm convinced that hype and social conformity alone can make a mediocre piece of art into a masterpiece. Just look at modern art. But 2 months ago, my faith in movies was first partially restored when I saw Nirvana the band The Show the movie.
If you're watching this in theaters, thank your lucky stars.
One of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life, up there with Black Dynamite, One Cut of the Dead, Tropic Thunder, In Bruges, The General. But none of these movies had me laughing so hard that I was bent over double and accidentally drooling on my leg. However, it's the second movie which I saw just last week that completed this renewal of faith, and that movie was Obsession.
Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her?
I think no film in the last year fizzes with such joy of filmmaking as this film does. The kind of joy that people say Tarantino has on set.
Cool, let's do it one more time. Why? Because we love making movies.
It's almost as if with each artistic decision, you can hear the director giggling like a little kid pulling the best prank ever. Because the director knows just how uncomfortable he's making the audience.
What the fuck?
Stop, that was
No,
there.
embrace
What
it.
the fuck?
That's real.
Yo, what's up, man?
Who is that fucker?
Seriously, the inventiveness of this film had me laughing in all the wrong places, as when the music ominously growls, but all we see on screen is a very sweet and loving girlfriend.
My mom and my dad had both seen the movie probably like 3 times at that point. We were all kind of shocked together at the amount of laughing that was happening. You just don't expect to get that big of a laugh in certain spots.
So, if you love movies, please see this film and see it with a crowd, because it reminded me, and I think some other people in the theater I was in, of why we fell in love with movies in the first place. That feeling of, they're not going there. They're not going there, dude. Holy shit, they're actually going there. Are they allowed to do this? That feeling of seeing things you've never seen before in your life and have never even imagined. That feeling of losing yourself in a film because it actually tries to involve you in it. This is originality, inventing new ways to grab the audience by the collar and say this is what it means to be human. Obsession does this for days. Shot composition, camera movement, staging, lighting, sound design, sound mixing, writing, the actors' performances, the performances. These are all tools in this director's toolkit, and they are always in service of producing an effect in the audience.
That's where those movements and, taking away her face kind of come in as tools in a tool belt.
Just as these flat Ozu-like shots of Shelley Duvall in The Shining serve to make the audience feel very uncomfortable.
Okay, I understand.
They also had to get creative back then. I mean, the camera can tell the story so many different ways. Focal length, your depth of field, how wide you are, what lenses. That's something that we kind of are taking away. If everything is a wide shot and then a close-up, you should earn your close-up maybe. But every single aspect of even composition is a tool that they used to use.
Curry Barker, unlike most directors, wants to make you feel things, not just see things. And his collaboration with Indy Neveready to produce a performance scarier than all of the Harkonnens in June proves this.
There's a moment where I physically moved my body. I was mimicking him. He'd be like, what if it's more like this?
Yeah.
And I was like this? And he was like, no, more like pop lock. And so
Neveready rides the line between human and non-human so well that she has given us the perfect example of an uncanny human. She slingshots from one extreme of the human psyche to the other within seconds, while at the same time making it utterly believable, which, please tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think has been done this well before. This is undoubtedly one of the greatest horror performances of all time. And the only reason I don't say the best female performance is because I haven't seen Kathy Bates in Misery, didn't finish watching Pearl, and Isabella Gianni's performance in Possession is kind of untouchable. But is this girl as scary as Jack Nicholson in The Shining?
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
100% yes. In this film, she is the female Jack Nicholson. His kabuki-like physicality is matched, blow for blow, by her uncanny physicality. And hey, since we're talking about The Shining, do you know how much its budget was, adjusted for inflation? $75 million. Guess how much Obsession's budget was? Less than $1 million. This movie proves that necessity is the mother of invention. Or the less money you have, the more creative you have to be, just like the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, Primer, Coherence.
You shoot a certain way when you have less money. You avoid certain big set pieces. A lot of that becomes sound design off to the side.
Listen.
Hello?
On top of that, to maximize its creativity, Obsession follows the old rule: good artists copy, great artists steal. It doesn't hide its influences, but openly builds on them. It is the perfect love child of all the good horror techniques of the last 5 to 10 years. We've got characters hiding in background shadows as in Hereditary, characters moving creepily in the background as in It Chapter 2, creepy woman watching a man sleep as in Paranormal Activity, reverse film to create alien movement as in Ringu, the no from Get Out, the shadow shot from Us. We've even got the phone call camera truck from Taxi Driver, and as Neveretti has said, influence from the unhinged performance of Mia Goth and Pearl.
We kind of took certain moments. I really found how grounded Mia Goth was in Pearl. And so we'd kind of be like, this is Pearl, like this is pearlescent, you know what I mean? Like this is a Pearl moment.
And I'm sure there's much more I'm missing. But there's one last thing I have to talk about, which absolutely sealed the deal for me on this movie. I'm going to describe this as vaguely as possible because I don't want to ruin the film for anyone. But when the first human death happens, I thought, well, I guess a happy ending is off the cards now. But oh, how wrong I was. Because the movie does one better than a happy ending. It achieves, and I say achieve because tonally this kind of ending shouldn't even be possible, but it achieves what I call a jolly ending. One that is simultaneously horrific, happy, and bursting with artistic joy, as if to say, it's just a movie. Hope you had fun.
Kiss me, my girl, before I'm sick.
Well, it had me and a few others in the theater clapping like idiots. In conclusion, you might think me downright insane for saying this, but Obsession is a better film and a better piece of art than all the films I mentioned at the start. And in years to come, the proof will be if people choose to rewatch this film more than the others, just like people still rewatch Raging Bull and not Ordinary People, which beat it for Best Picture, and still rewatch Kubrick's 2001 and not Oliver, which beat it for Best Picture, and still rewatch Citizen Kane and not How Green Was My Valley, which beat it. You get the point. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a modern horror classic on our hands. I would now like to leave you with something Orson Welles once said, which echoes endlessly in my head. There are more bad directors at work than people know, because it's the only profession in the world where you can be incompetent and go on being successful for 30 years with no one ever discovering it. Interviewer. Now why is that? Wells, because the only job that a director can do in a film of real value is to do something more than what will happen automatically. If the story is put on, if the actors are good, they find themselves around the cutter, the cameraman, everything. If a director is something of a cameraman, something of a cutter, something of an actor, something of a writer, and preferably completely a cameraman, completely a writer, completely an actor, then his contribution is a real one. Otherwise,
he's simply the man that says, action, cut. Take it a little slower, take it a little faster, and nobody will ever discover that he doesn't know anything.
Your smile, your kiss, the sweet champagne on your lips. I tell you everything about you, enchants me, my darling.